friends, welcome back to Live at the Roxy on this Friday. You gotta get down on Friday, June 4th. Had to look at the calendar for that one. Jake, this one's just for you. Remind me that I keep meaning to tell you and myself, but I keep forgetting. Apparently that intro music that I use is now copyright. And so every episode has been demonetized for the last 5 because apparently I don't own the rights to that. So I have to send you some kind of new music for some kind of new intro. And that's the way we get an inside the curtain peek at what's going on here live at the Roxy. What's up, friends? Thank you for joining me live today. Really appreciate you. There's a lot of fucked up things going on in the world right now, huh? Who knew? We're not just going to focus on those things today, though. We are going to focus on a lot of different things. But just to be honest, a lot of fucked up stuff. What the fuck is going on with Drake Bell? Oh my God. Gross. And we will discuss that. Would you buy an invisible sculpture? Asterisk. Would you buy an $18,000 invisible sculpture? Because somewhere out there, somebody did just that. La 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 la. It is so unfortunate. I made that the headline of today because I sat there looking at that article thinking, this is the worst of humanity. This is our downfall. This is some horrible shit. It's not the people who are okay, I'll get into it later. I need to build to that for a minute because it's egregious and I can't handle it. Facebook announced that Trump is going to be suspended for 2 años, 2 years. And then they kind of like put in a caveat there, unless you keep going, and then it will be longer. Poo-poo, Donald Trump, poo-poo. 2 years. You're in timeout for 2 years. Oh, zip it, zip, 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 zip. Nope, don't you try us. Nope. Kind of here for that. Also kind of think it's fucked up, but mostly here for that because I don't want to hear from him for 2 years at least. Just shoo fly. Don't bother me. And then it's time for Roxy's Trials TV time. A lot of songs, a lot of jingles today on the show. I have been binging shit like crazy because you guys know I have not been sleeping. I've had a very hard time sleeping recently. I am up all night, round the clock. And one of the things I do when I can't sleep is I watch a ton of TV. Is it the chicken or the egg? Am I not sleeping because I'm watching so much TV, or am I watching so much TV because I'm not sleeping? Really don't know which one comes first. But I started binging Lucifer. Can't wait to talk about it. I finished binging Kaminsky Method. Can't wait to talk about it. I watched the finale or the reunion of Floribama Shore. Can't wait to talk about it. I don't even know if I told you guys This Is Us ended. I saw that shit. Can't wait to talk about it. Just a lot of moving parts. And I'm watching a lot of things. So I want to hear from you guys too about what you're watching. You guys run the show. I'll just be kind of the voice of not so reason. Wow, I'm the voice of not so reason. I'm also thinking about changing my bios everywhere across the board to the most curious person on the planet. Because isn't that true about me? I took a meeting yesterday, and at first I feel like a lot of people think I'm judging them or disagreeing with them because I ask so many fucking questions, as you guys know. And then I have to always let people know, no. I'm just so fucking curious. One of the people that I met with yesterday, who is a talent manager and runs a production team, he was telling me all about this crazy ass experience that he had living in what is the kind of master? Hold on, I'm going to fuck this up. I should text him and ask because I'm so curious. It is called, not masturbation. It's something like, it's like tantric orgasmic meditation. Tantric orgasmic meditation. And these people sit in these Om circles, and a lot of them live together. And it's essentially is this wild, mind-blowing thing where a woman is on the floor, like butterflied, and these men, there's like all this ritual to it where they have to ask, can I step here? And then they sit down and like essentially for 15 minutes, non-sexually, they stroke, I had said pet, but he said stroke. They stroke a woman's clitoris for 15 minutes and like check in with each other. And it's supposed to really help men understand women and women be able to vocalize what they want and figure out what they want, but you're doing it to not yield any kind of result. It was a mind-blowing conversation. I was like, holy shit, there are so many elements to this world that I know nothing about. Nothing about. And there's these like you put on like a 15-minute timer, and it's a whole fucking thing. And I was like, whoa, it's really interesting, all the parts of the world that I don't know about, but I kept asking question after question after question, and I had to clarify, like, just so you know, I'm so fascinated in this, not because I'm personally partaking and not because I'm judging you in any way, but because I am the most curious person on the planet. I think anybody would be curious about this, but I would be curious if somebody told me that they like dirt. I'm just so fucking curious about all the things that are out there. So I think that is who I am, the most curious person in the world. It's like being the most interesting person in the world. I'm almost Dos Equis. However, I'm just the most curious person in the world. So that was wild. Okay, Jake says, how do you non-sexually stroke a clitoris? So it's not that you're non-sexually doing it, that you're not sexually doing it. So it's not like the purpose is to orgasm, is to come. The purpose is to connect, I guess. And the women don't touch the men back at all. And this is apparently a big practice. And I couldn't believe it. And like people will go into these Om circle. It's just wild. I was like, wow, I know nothing about life. Got so much to live, so much life to live still. Gotta learn, gotta understand. What is it that everybody else is fucking doing on this planet? We're all on this planet for many reasons. And some people are to be part of this Om circle. Going into the Streamlabs, let's see what it is you guys have to say. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Appreciate all of you guys for being in here. Oh, right after yesterday's show, thank you so much to Christian Hardesty with that big support who said, yo, Roxy, I'm a bit late to the show, and I don't know what retrograde means. Mercury being in retrograde, I don't fully understand it either because you guys know I don't get that stuff, but I am curious about it. Something about Mercury is in a different position going backwards or something, and so something about where the planet is in comparison to the moon, maybe. I'm making shit up, but it's something about that apparently fucks with people's communication. So that's what that is. Christian, thank you for your support. I appreciate you. Glenn Caesar in the house says, rest in peace, Chris Burke, and love to Avery Burke. Absolutely. Hashtag 2 rock stars forever. Let's go Smets and everyone fighting. Hashtag smash cancer. Absolutely. I stand against anti-Semitism. I stand against Islamophobia. I stand against Asian hate. Stop AAPI hate. I know that Black Lives Matter. Hashtag BLM. Yes, Glenn. Glenn also says Miles Cosgrove, Brett Hankerson, Jonathan Mattingly. Arrest the cops who killed Breonna Taylor. All 3 of them for killing Breonna Taylor. Hope today is the day. Justice for all the people who lost their lives due to excessive force. Hashtag say their names. Hello and good afternoon, Roxy, and all your nicknames. Great job on OSA. Thank you. I love doing OSA with DJ. How are you? Sending Friday well wishes and thank you for hanging out. Peace, bunnies, hugs, and good stuff to you, Grammy and Papa. Be most excellent to yourselves and each other, RJ and Rockstars. Ooh, especially to yourself this week. Not especially to yourself, especially to others also, but during the weekend, try to be good to yourself. I know I say the same thing every day and that it can be tiring, so it's boring or white noise that doesn't resonate with you all. I get it. I think it really resonates with me, Glenn. Who says it doesn't resonate with me? I also know that I'm Zen Glenn / the Rockstar mascot. So I was attempting to be consistent, daily, encouraging voice. I just know that at my core, I'm still the little kid who lays in bed at night, who needed a consistent, encouraging voice, but also always felt like an alien. I wondered, why'd I get dropped off here? When is someone going to pick me up? Oh my God, that is so cute, so Glenn. I want to go home. Oh, and heartbreaking. I know a lot of what I say is kind of out there, woo-woo stuff. No, when I say woo-woo, Glenn, I don't mean woo in a bad way. It's just how I define it. Woo-woo. Both Steph and Dee are very woo-woo. Apologies if it's too much, and my good vibes are often too intense and difficult to be around. I'll spend some more time thinking about what all I say and when, but perhaps it is stale. Anyhow, Glenn, where is this coming from? RJ and everyone who shows up to give their support whenever, however they can when it gets tough, even by yourself, you're not alone. Everyone who's battling, keep on fighting. You're a winner. You're kind, you're smart, you're unique, and showing up for people who want it and need it makes you remarkable. That's from DJ. Being so unselfishly loving and supportive of others, including strangers, whether it's on the internet or not, makes you humane and worthy. Your story is important, deserves to be seen and heard. Cheers to fuck yeah news, love, and laughter for us all in each of our days, our weeks, our months, and even our years. I hope that you and each of us can find what it is that brings us joy and then do it whenever, wherever we can and lose ourselves in it. Absolutely, Glenn. I think that I love when you switch it up because it's always fun to hear your new thoughts. But I also love what it is that you have to say all the time. So I certainly don't feel that it's stale at all. I love hearing it. And yeah, you are the mascot. I've always said so. Shout out to everybody who's joining us live today. Mark Jason Ali, Manny Gonzalez, John Bainbridge, Andrew Thomas, John Get Bent, Itai Berman, Jake Yakavetta, Liam Evans, scrolling. Come and keep scrolling. Matt Munoz, the third turd, Redford Reddington, Evan Hooker, Jonathan Donsel, to Jackson Clisel, the French Taunter, B. Lee, my girl, Melissa Byrne, yes, ZB, all the people. Thank you guys for being here live with us today. I appreciate every single one of you and would love to hear your thoughts. So make sure you Streamlabs in throughout the show, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Every dollar this week is going towards my car, which, those unexpected expenses, my dudes. And I just love hearing from you guys anyway. So Super Chat, Streamlabs, etc. Leonard Kim in the Streamlabs says, hey, Dimple Tits, Roxy. I love that you put, hey, Dimple Tits, and then Roxy in parentheses always, like I wouldn't know who it is. Who's Dimple Tits? Who? I hope you're doing well. Sorry not sleeping well. I hope that can change and you get a good night's sleep. Thank you. I would buy an invisible structure for $18,000 as long as that $18,000 can also be invisible. Fucking key. The hair looks gorgeous. Wow. That is the best comment about the $18,000 structure I have seen yet. And I cannot wait to talk about that in today's episode. Because, oh boy. Actually, let's just get into it. Let's get into the fucking $18,000 piece of art that was invisible that sold this week. When I saw the headline, I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Jake says, it makes me so happy that you didn't get a shout out, PLD. PLD, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to miss you. Sometimes I don't remember who I said and who I didn't. I missed a lot of people when I scroll through. It's like, how am I supposed to hit every name? But I just try to give a lot of names. PLD, you're the shit. So what the fuck with this headline, with this article? What the fuck with all of it? It definitely made me kind of hate living on this planet for 0.2 seconds. But as I read more into it, it started to kind of convince me. And then I was like, no, this is the fucking problem with society. This is the fucking problem that I read this. And then all of a sudden I'm like, maybe I need myself an invisible structure. So I'm going to read this article to you guys. This is coming from Art World. It says an Italian artist auctioned off an invisible sculpture for $18,300. It's made literally of nothing. Literally of nothing. This is what the article says. From the Department of They Sold That for How Much comes today's story about an Italian artist who, for the cool price of 15,000 euros, which is $18,300, recently auctioned an artwork that is, well, nothing. Last month, the 67-year-old artist Salvatore Garou sold an immaterial sculpture, which is to say that it does not exist. It doesn't exist. To be fair, the artist might disagree on the conceptual grounds. For Garou, the artwork titled Io Sono, which translates to I am, finds form in its own nothingness. Oh my God, talk about the bad side of woo-woo. Quote, the vacuum is nothing more than a space full of energy. And even if we empty it and there is nothing left, according to the Heisenberg uncertainty principle, that nothing has a weight. He told the Spanish news outlet, Diario AS, therefore, it has energy that is condensed and transformed into particles that is into us. So let me read that last part one more time. Therefore, it has energy that is condensed and transformed into particles that is into us. What the fuck? Lo Sono went up for sale in May at the Italian auction house Artright. The pre-sale estimate valued this piece between 6,000 and 9,000 euros, according to AS, but, competing bidders pushed the price tag to 15,000 euros. 15,000 euros. The lucky buyer, as this article, the lucky buyer went home with a certificate of authenticity and a set of instructions. The work per guru must be exhibited in a private house in a roughly 5 by 5 foot space free of obstruction. I want you guys to really, really let that sink in. This artist creates nothing and then instructs people to bring nothing into a 5 by 5 foot space in an empty house free of obstruction. That's what we are talking about. Quote, when I decide to exhibit an immaterial sculpture in a given space, that space will concentrate a certain amount and density of thoughts at a precise point, creating a sculpture that, from my title, will only take the most varied forms. That's what the artist said. I literally feel like I have to read all of this twice. I won't, but that's how much it fucks with your head. If you thought that was artsy, claptrap. He goes on to draw a rather lofty comparison to the work. Quote, after all, don't we shape a god we've never seen? End quote. Just to be clear, are you comparing your nothing art to God? Is that what you guys are getting a sense of? Because that's what I just heard. Oh boy. The artist didn't immediately respond to a request for comment. Losono isn't the only artwork of its kind in Guru's oeuvre. Some French word that probably means something fancy, like repertoire. In February this year at the Piazza della Scala in Milan, the artist exhibited Buddha in Contemplation, a similarly invisible sculpture demarcated by a square of tape on a cobblestone walkway. Meanwhile, this week, he installed Aphrodite cries in front of New York City Stock Exchange. The effort, evidenced by an empty white circle, was supported by the Italian Cultural Institute. Quote, you don't see it, but it exists. It is made of air and spirit. It is a work that asks you to activate the power of the imagination, a power that anyone has, even those who don't believe they have it, end quote. Do you guys think that this man believes his own stuff? Like, I cannot believe that we as a society are so jacked up that this man sits there and thinks about energy going into this space. Like, okay, this is energy. This energy is going in. And this energy, I'm going to put a value on this energy that's here. And that's going to be 15,000 euros. Okay. And instead of delivering this artwork to you, because I can't physically do that, you're going to get a certificate and we're going to pretend to bring this into your home. I believe in energy. I really do. But what the fuck? What the fuck? Now, I would love to be wrong here. I want one of you guys to tell me what am I missing? What the fuck am I missing? Do you think that this man really thinks like, wow, that was worth every cent of that $18,000 to give them air? And just like, I can't help but think about all of the fucking homeless people and sick people and people who are fucking struggling, and that there are other people out there that are spending $18,000 on air. $18,000. I can't help but compare. And I know we're not supposed to compare things, because also if you think about all the homeless people and then you think about the fact that I had to spend $1,000 on my car yesterday, it's like, well, technically I guess I shouldn't even just fucking have a car and I just stay home and I should give that money away. So like, if you think about everything you have to do in life, then there's a lot of other better things you can probably do with your money. You know, or today I fucking had a croissant. I probably could have given that $3 to somebody else. You think about things like that. But this just feels like, what the fuck? What the fuck? It's air. It's air. It's nothing but air. You're selling air, you scammer. You fucking scammer. And I read this and I was like, the words are so convoluted and twisted, and Oh, look at me. Look at me and my fancy words and artwork. Give me all the thousands of dollars so you can be rich and snobby and fancy like me. And somebody out there is like, great. Where do I sign? Auction. Yup. And not only did it go, one of the craziest parts is it was expected to go to from 6,000 to 9,000 euros, and this goes for 15,000 euros. So not only did one person think this, but multiple fucking people bid on this. Multiple people bid above 6,000 euros on this, and they were like, I've got to have that heir. And also just the concept of anybody else's heir being more important or influential or powerful than anybody else's heir. Guess what? It's fucking air. The poorest person in the world gets to breathe it. The richest person in the world breathes the same fucking air. We all breathe the same fucking air. That's the truth. Infuriating that's where the world is right now. Where this man's ass just, and by the way, I made him British when he's French. Oh, what is French? Escargot. It's me, mademoiselle. It's my fancy air, and I take my fancy air, and you cannot have my fancy air unless you pay $18,000 for it. You fucking peasant, you. That's what it's like. I'm sure what I just did was probably mildly offensive. Probably not even mildly offensive. Probably just straight up offensive. But that. Your air doesn't matter more than anybody else's air, you fucking piece of shit. I'm annoyed that he's in his 60s. I wish this artist was some millennial or Gen Z twat. But like, this is a grown-ass man tricking people. This is a grown-ass man. What I would do for $18,000 right now, $18,000 would be the best gift on the planet. I would pay my taxes because on June 15th, I owe 1/2 of the year's taxes. I would get the other work done to my car after my car got hit, and that's the work that I'm not doing to it. I would pay my very expensive rent, and I would build a fucking studio for the Whirl Girls. So excited. This person's like, take my money. It is for the expensive air that I very much so want, so I am going to take it. I made him, I'm kind of like Count Dracula. I want to take your air. It's a 1, a 2, 3, $18,000 air. Why do I do this to myself? We don't fucking know. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Questions, comments, concerns. Would you pay $18,000 for air? Do you have any thoughts on this? Do you think I do the best French accent you've ever heard? Jake Yakuet in the Streamlab says, I never expected dimple tits to stick when I said it, but shout out to Leonard Kim for keeping it alive. Dimple tits is the shit. Oh, honestly, as soon as I said it, I instantly regretted it. It's nothing to regret. I've got dimples. I got tits. I got dimple tits, 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 tits. It's like the Alpha, the Little Rascal song. We got a dollar. We got a dollar. Paul through JP in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer said he made $18,000 off the concept that just because you can't see it doesn't mean it isn't there. Not gonna lie, kind of respect it. Laugh my ass off. He must have amazing game. Can you imagine with the skills of persuasion? Ugh. This is the thing about persuasion, Apollo. And really open your ears for this one. I mean this. No woman should ever be persuaded to sleep with a man. No woman should be persuaded to sleep with a man. I know that's not exactly what you just said, but the word persuaded is sketchy and gross, and there is nobody who should be really persuaded into that. Because if you have to be persuaded, that's icky as fuck. You should want to be with somebody. So I don't think he's got great skills. I'm not looking at this like, oh, look at that dope guy's skills. He can probably fuck anybody who wants. If the way that he gets somebody to spend $18,000 is to convince them that they need his heir, the way he is with women is got to be fucking disgusting. If he's even with women. We don't know what his preference or, deal is. Andrew Thomas says, hey, the most beautiful Roxy. I've been watching Superman and Lois so far. Oh, it's so good. Is the artist leaving? Is the artist leaving in Neverland with his imagination? Oh, maybe living in Neverland? Yeah, I mean, that's what it fucking seems like. But Neverland is a pure, beautiful place, and this place seems like a fucked up place. Just a fucked up, gross ass, blech place. In the Streamlabs, Christian Hardesty, yes, Christian says, yo, if I ever have $18,000 for a sculpture, I promise I'll use for $18,000 worth of shots for the World Girls instead. See, we would take that money and do great things with it, Christian. So I appreciate you. It's very, very nice of you for giving us your money instead of this fake ass sculpture. Pink Sweets in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer says, I've been having a shit day, but that French accent really took me out. Good, Pink Sweets. I'm sorry you're having a shit day, though, babe. My uncle lives in Canada and actually talks like that. Laugh my ass off. I'll be sending him this clip. Good, good. If you have the time to binge more shows, a Black Lady sketch show is amazing. That's what I fucking hear, Pink Sweets. I hear that's right up my alley and that I'll love it. So I gotta make the fucking time. There's just so much shit out there. And also, why are you having a bad day? I hope you're okay. Talk to us. Maybe we can help. Maybe we sell you an $18,000 painting. What do you think about that, Pink Sweets? Glenn Caesar in the house. Glenn says, part 1, Roxy, tantric or orgasmic yoga is real. The technique that my spiritual school teacher uses, orgasms, not physically releasing fluid, but the release of love-oriented energies, is healing, physical, mental, emotional, and expands consciousness. It can be done without actually touching yourself or another person. It's actually better that you/the person involved by listening to certain songs, music, instruments, examples similar to Steph's bull, and repeating some sacred sound/power words or mantras. I don't know if there's one thing that's better than another, Glenn, because this clearly worked for them. So I don't want to say that the not touching is better. Glenn also says, yes, it's primarily used to help understand all people, women, men, non-binary people, but it's especially helpful because it allows everyone to have multiple orgasms like women can while they are having sex. Again, tantric yoga dates back 10,000 years. Yeah, I had heard about tantric yoga, but I never heard about like these houses that live together and like there's a whole process to it where like you use gloves and all this stuff. It's just very, very interesting to hear about. So I'd love to hear more from anybody who has participated or just has more knowledge in the area. And no judgment, just curious at all times. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Get in your questions, comments, concerns, thoughts. Please let me know how my French accent is just the best accent. Yeah. The amount of times I've sung on the show and I don't even see Rob Fishbeck in here is ridiculous. It's like he missed my biggest singing show. He doesn't even care that I'm belting out these tunes. Let's move forward and let's talk, because how long can we talk about an invisible sculpture for? Am I right? Let's talk a little bit about Facebook announcing that Trump is suspended for 2 years. How do you guys feel about this? What applies to one needs to apply to all. And so if we believe that they should be able to do this with him, we definitely believe that they should be able to do this with more people. How do you guys feel about this 2-year suspension that is supposedly going till at least January 2023? This article is coming from CNN Business that said Facebook announced that Friday that former President Donald Trump will be suspended on its platform until at least January 7th, 2023, 2 years from when he was initially suspended. Facebook said it will then assess the circumstances to see if he should be allowed back on. The move guarantees Trump won't be able to post from his Facebook account, which had tens of millions of followers prior to 2022 midterm elections. But Facebook's announcement does leave open the possibility his suspension could lift ahead of the 2024 presidential election. So it's not prior to midterm, but is prior to presidential election. Nick Clegg, the company's vice president for global affairs, said in a post on Friday that once the 2 years is up, Facebook will look to experts to assess whether the risk to public safety has receded. We will evaluate external factors, including instances of violence, restrictions on peaceful assembly, and other makers of civil unrest. If we determine that there is still a serious risk to public safety, we will extend the restriction for a set period of time and continue to reevaluate until the risk has receded. Clegg framed the 2-year suspension, which came through Trump supporters storm the Capitol building, or after Trump supporters stormed the Capitol building, as, quote, long enough to allow a safe period of time after the acts of incitement to be significant enough to be a deterrent to Mr. Trump and others from committing such severe violations, in future to be proportionate to the gravity of the violation itself, end quote. I don't even know that Trump, if he's allowed back on, would even get back on just to like spite. I feel like he'd be more like, I'm going to make my own Facebook or whatever it is. But maybe he would. And do you guys think that 2 years is long enough for him to reassess? Is Trump even capable of reassessing? How do you guys feel about him being off of social media in general and Facebook having this 2-year plan that is what they believe is the right thing to do? Would love to hear from all of you guys. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Striar, super chat in. Do you think it is legitimate that Trump has been kicked off of social media? Do you think that that 2-year plan is the right plan based on Facebook? And do you think that they should be doing that? Facebook owns Instagram, so they're doing that there as well. Do you think that this is the right decision, the smart decision, the decision that we should do with anybody who's deemed a risk of public safety that is on social media? Want to hear from you guys. Manny Gonzalez says, Roxy, don't forget he's off Instagram as well. I hope that will be gone longer. Why? Because you just don't want to see his face. Marchese Ali says he tried to make his own social platform and abandoned it in 2 months, I think. That sounds about right. John Bainbridge says, but he talks a lot of shit. There's always places for him to do that. You don't just need to be on Facebook in order to talk yo shit. That's the truth. Let me know. Let me know what your thoughts are. I have mixed feelings on this because he is a risk to society, and so that's where I don't have mixed feelings. But I also do feel like there's an interesting freedom of speech element of things that are not across the board regulated the same way. You know, the fact that we just started this year saying that Facebook people can't post on Facebook things that are implying or stating that the Holocaust didn't exist. That's just this year. There's still so much stuff that people are saying about different genocides and whatnot, and they're not getting kicked off at all. So he is a more prominent figure, so that's why it's a bigger risk. But I do think that we don't have a universal control over this, and not everybody's held to the same standard, which can be incredibly problematic. But also these are companies that are allowed to make decisions they want to make because they're a business. And so that's their decision as a business. Pink Sweet says, I think they kind of know when he comes back, he'll fuck up and be gone again pretty soon. He can't really control himself. So you think Pink Sweet's that they're banking on that? Like, oh, okay, like we can claim that we'll reassess because we know for a fact that he's not going to do the right thing. And so we have no problem pretending that we'll bring him back when we know we're just going to reassess that he needs to stay gone. Kind of interesting. Let me know your questions, comments, concerns, thoughts. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Striar. Every dollar this week is going towards the car issues because I had crazy car issues. Let's move forward to what the fuck with Drake Bell. Send bunnies if you know what I'm talking about. When I say the Drake Bell story, which ones of you guys know what the fuck I'm talking about? If it wasn't for Twitter, I swear I would miss a ton of shit. That's why it's my favorite social media app, because I really, really just learn so much on Twitter. Even though there's some toxic parts of it, which there's on all social media, Twitter really teaches me a ton. And this is what it taught me today. Drake Bell has been charged in Cuyahoga County with disseminating matter harming to juveniles and attempted endangering children. I was like, what the fuck? First of all, who is Drake Bell of Drake and Josh? And I realized it was, because I was like, Drake Bell, that's the child star that I knew coming up, right? Drake Bell from Drake and Josh. I guess Jared Bell of Drake and Josh had inappropriate chats with teens and is now charged with multiple crimes. This is from Fox 8. Cuyahoga County, Ohio. Jared Drake Bell, who played Drake in the hit Nick show Drake and Josh, is facing charges in Cuyahoga County. Bell, 34, is charged with disseminating matter harmful to juveniles and attempted endangering children, which I was like, what the fuck is this? So Fox 8 News has learned that he allegedly engaged in inappropriate chat with victim that, at times, was sexual in nature. The alleged incident happened December 1st, 2017. Court documents show that the Cleveland Division of Police was the arresting agency, but does not say when he was arrested. According to Cuyahoga County Prosecutor's Office, the victim, 15, filed a report with her local police department in Canada in October of 2018 regarding an incident involving Bell that occurred the previous year in Cleveland. Officials say Canadian authorities contacted Cleveland police, who conducted an investigation into the allegations. The investigation reportedly revealed that the victim had established a relationship with Bell several years prior. She then attended his Cleveland concert in December of 2017. At the concert, Bell violated his duty of care and, in doing so, created a risk of harm to the victim. The prosecutor's office reports. The investigation also revealed that months leading up to the concert, Bell allegedly sent the victim inappropriate social media messages. Officials say he has since been charged with attempting endangering children, a fourth-degree felony, and disseminating matter harmful to juveniles, a first-degree misdemeanor. Bell's mugshot, taken in Cuyahoga County, I don't know why I have a hard time with that, Cuyahoga jail, is dated June 3rd, Thursday, just before 3 p.m. I'm going to hold this up for you guys because this is legit his mugshot, which I've never even seen a mugshot like this. Looks like a weird-ass selfie that he took or some shit, but just kind of bizarre. And so, but that's I guess apparently the official mugshot. So weird. So fucking, I mean, weird's the wrong word because I told you guys that's what you use when you can't explain something. Let's see what else it says. The investigation reportedly revealed that the victim had established a relationship. Scrolling down, court documents show Bell appeared in Cuyahoga County courtroom Thursday, June 3rd. At the time, he entered a not guilty plea and was freed on a $2,500 personal bond. Not that much money. Bell agreed to have no contact with the alleged victim in the case. Bell, who also goes by Drake Campagna, tweeted in October of 2017 that he was scheduled to play Cleveland's the Odeon Concert Club on December 1st as a Friday afternoon. It appears the tweet had been deleted. So he deleted that he was there, or that tweet. Bizarre. Pre-trial hearing is scheduled for June 23rd. This is going to be on Zoom. And Fox News learned that Bell is expected to enter a plea of no contest or guilty to the Bill of Information. Bell was asked to submit DNA, which is a standard practice in Ohio. I think we need more details on this, but it does not sound particularly good. It's definitely a yuck situation. Anything that ever has to do with children is fucking disgusting, especially with these men that are in power positions, and just gross. There was a lot of people comparing him to Kevin Spacey, which I don't know enough about the situation to know if it's true or false, but that seemed to be what the internet was doing. And yeah, yikes all around. Had you guys heard about this at all? I'm not seeing many bunnies from previously when I asked that, so I don't think you guys had looked into this at all, which neither had I until it was trending on Twitter. Drake Bell was trending. I was like, oh, why is Drake Bell trending? And I was like, ugh, fucking gross, man. I can't believe that we have to continue on this show to talk about stories about people when it comes to children. Like, what the fuck is wrong with people? I don't fucking get it. I'll never fucking get it. So, anyway, I was going to say Streamlabs and your thoughts on this, but probably we have all the same thoughts on this, which is fucking nope. It's a no from me, dog. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. As we move forward to talk a little bit about what's on TV right now, would love to hear from you guys, as support has been light as fuck. I appreciate y'all anyway, though. We are down in numbers. We are down in finances, but we are not down in heart and soul. The rock stars who are here are the members of the band who we just can't live without. So thank you guys for being here. Support however you can. Subscribe if you haven't already. Like if you haven't already. Share with your friends if you haven't already. And of course, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer if you can. Going to TV time, which I miss doing for DC Movie News so much. Here are the things I'm watching right now. Master of None, I made it 2 episodes deep. It is so fucking depressing. It's really well acted. It's really an interesting story, but it's so fucking depressing that I had to put it on pause. This season is ridiculously different than any previous season. Lena Waithe is doing an amazing job. We do see Aziz, and it's not his show anymore. It is hers. In terms of who the protagonist of the story is. And it's so fucked up and dark that I just was having too hard of a time watching it. So I put it on the back burner right now. Superman and Lois did an excellent job this week. Talk about a dark storyline, actually similar to the Master of None storyline, but they did it in a way that I was really, really glad to see the CW do. I don't want to give any spoilers, but there is a situation with Lois that they really dive into that I think is important for kids to see, because usually you don't know about this kind of thing until you are an adult. And I think they did a great job. I'm just liking the show in general. So really into that. I'm still behind on Flash and Legends and Supergirl, but I don't miss an episode of Superman and Lois because it's my favorite of the DC shows right now. Speaking of DC shows, Lucifer. So into Lucifer. It dropped the second half of season 5, dropped on Netflix. I am binging the fuck out of it right now. I'm on a musical episode of that. Maybe that's why I'm on a musical kick here. It's kind of strange. I'm not exactly sure if I'm liking this musical episode. I love musical episodes on Glee. I don't love musical episodes on Riverdale. It depends on the show and if it fits in. Right now, it just seems kind of awkward, but I still love this show. If you guys are watching Lucifer, then let me know. We get God this season, and that has been a wild turn of events. What if God was one of us? So strange. Jake says that musical episode of Lucifer was hot garbage. I'm not disagreeing with you. I just love the show so much, but so far I'm halfway through that episode, and I'm like, what? What is happening here, my friend? It's just kind of a strange look on the show, but it is also fine, maybe. It's also fine, maybe. So that. Then the other things that I'm watching right now, Floribama Shore just ended. Their reunion was bizarre. Snooki and JWoww are the ones who did the reunion. JWoww has no idea how to host a show, so it was so fucking funny. And MTV was just like, fuck it, let it be bad. We don't care. And it was so bad that it was almost good. And I was glad that they didn't step in too much because she just clearly didn't know how to do it. And it was fucking hysterical for any of you guys who watch. And you guys know that. Joseph Ashley says, did you see the Grey's Anatomy season finale? I have one more episode. I'm behind one episode. So I will check that out and report back to you guys ASAP because I'm so into Grey's Anatomy still. And I know we got another season of that. They were debating if this was the last season. But I am for sure going to miss the characters that we don't have anymore for next year. It's sad. These are just some of the shows I'm watching. You guys tell me, what shows are you guys watching? Let me know if you're watching any of these ones. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Let's go into the Streamlabs. Glenn Caesar said, what I meant by better for all the people involved is that practicing tantric yoga without any touching of your or other people's body is that it eliminates the human instinct and urge to touch one's own / people's genitals, which leads to sexual orgasms. I get what you're saying. I just wouldn't use the word better because it's not better, different things work for different people. Then Glenn says, and therefore have a physical release sexual fluids, as opposed to explosion of love and energies with all throughout one's own body, mind, soul, and spirit for the purpose of physical, mental, and emotional healing and big expansions of consciousness. Totally, Glenn, if that was what works for you, just not better. It's all, everybody's got their own thing. Glenn also said, like I said, I practice tantric yoga. It sounds like from what you said that you heard about it, that the methods that this group was implementing when they practice tantric yoga is I didn't say it was tantric yoga. I said it's tantric orgasmic yoga. So that sounds different and has a lot of steps to it. My method is very simple and easy. Yeah, it's not just tantric. It's tantric orgasmic yoga, which is specific. They all live in a house and stuff. And apparently there's a whole class out here that people have to take on it. It was for sure fascinating to learn about. Anyway, though, if any of you guys have thoughts on TV shows, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer, super chat in. Want to hear from you. I finished the Kaminsky Method. I was so sad that it was the series finale. I finished it last night, and it was really lovely. That show was lovely. It was funny. I think that Michael Douglas and Alan Arkin are awesome. I missed having Jane Seymour, although she did appear early on in this season, and I just think there was a lot of life lessons in the show about at the end of your life when you look back at it. How are you going to have want to live? What are you going to want to feel? Where are your regrets going to be? When our timelines really relevant versus when are they not? How important is it to take care of your body? What does it look like to still have urges and be getting older, but still want to have sex and love and all of those things? I really, really loved the Kaminsky Method. And I know some people who watched it think that it was a little slow or boring. I just thought it was really funny and clever and cute. And the finale was both poignant and sad, but also feel good. I was just really, really into it. That's on Netflix, and I can't recommend it enough. You guys know Handmaid's Tale. I'm all about it right now. I'm obsessed with this show. It is wild to finally feel like we're making a little bit of progress. We've been spinning our wheels and going in circles for a long time, but I'm really into Handmaid's Tale right now, and I'm super duper grateful that we are moving forward, and I feel like it's time to fucking kick ass and fight back, and we're getting these courtroom scenes this season that are like, whoa, holy shit. We need to fucking fight, and justice will never be served, but we need to fucking keep moving forward. On that note, Pose, I know I've mentioned that several times on this show. I'm just running through all the shows that I'm loving right now. You guys let me know which ones that you're watching and relate to, or which ones you're watching that I haven't said. Pose is really great. There was a Electra-centered episode this week that was phenomenal, and they're always fun when she is at the helm. I think that show is coming to an end, and they're wrapping out really well. They're tying all their bows. I'm nervous to see what happens with Billy Porter's character and with Blanca's character as well. Billy Porter's character on the show is getting very, very sick, and he's losing his. Actually, I don't want to spoil it for you guys who are not watching it yet, because it's not on Hulu on FX, so I know it's a harder show to find. But he is not well during the season, not well. And that's kind of where we're at there. And I think those are all the shows that I'm currently watching. Looking forward to Loki coming on Wednesday, I believe. I don't think they're dropping on Fridays. I think they're dropping on Wednesdays. So that's going to be a big deal to finally get Loki, which I could use a little bit of mischief in my life right now. And he's the god of that. So stoked on that. I am going to catch up on the CWDC shows at some point. I really am. And whoa, I just feel like I listed like 15 shows, but I really am watching a ton right now. And I'm back in screening mode, so I'm seeing a lot of movies again too. Life is better with art in it. Not $18,000 invisible art, but just in general with art in it. Christian Hardesty says The Bad Batch has been really good too. I don't watch it, but I hear that, and so I'm happy for any of you guys who do watch it and enjoy it. All right, we are going to get out of here. So thank you guys so much for being here. Anybody else who has questions, comments, concerns, last minute, put them in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/RoxyStrayer. Any TV shows you're watching or want to recommend, I would love to hear from you. We did get a couple other. Jake Yakavetta said, you said you haven't seen 911 or 911 Lone Star. It's kind of like Rescue Me crossed with CSI. They're both really, really fucking well acted and written. Wow, that's interesting, Jake. I wouldn't necessarily peg you for a fan of those shows. I know I had to badger you for a year to watch Kim's Convenience, and I'll do that here too. Yeah, but honestly, Jake, Kim's Convenience just dropped on Netflix, so that's going to be after Lucifer. That's going to be my next binge. They just dropped their final, or the most recent season, so I think you're pretty far out from getting me to do this binge, Jake. Leonard Kim in the Streamlab says, I'm late to the party, but I'm loving Star Trek Discovery almost through the latest season. Oh, that's great. Apple TV has some gems. I stumbled upon trying, which I recommend, but Star Trek Discovery isn't on Apple TV, right? Also, Manifest on NBC is worth a shot, and I plan on checking out Hacks on HBO Max. Yo, everyone keeps recommending Hacks. I keep seeing that on my Instagram, and you guys have told me in here. I got to get on that life. Streamlabs.com/RoxyStrayer. Glenn Caesar said, and yes, I meant tantric orgasmic yoga. That's what I practice. Just didn't feel like typing orgasmic over and over again. LOL. By the way, I think you skipped one of my Streamlabs before the 3 from me that starts with funny to hear. Let's see. Funny to hear you talk about tantric yoga. Sorry, Glenn. Since the word yoga originally translates to union with God, I used to do tantric yoga at least twice a week or more. Hearing you talk about it is a sign for me. I'm going to start practicing it again. Thanks. Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad to hear that, Glenn. That's really nice to hear. I'm glad that I don't know if it's a sign, but it's always worth a shot. It's always worth a shot. So thank you guys all for being in here. Leave a comment. Tell me what shows you're loving right now. Tell me what amount of dollars you would spend on invisible art, if any. Tell me whatever it is you want to say. Don't forget to thumbs up this video. I appreciate you guys. I probably won't be back here tomorrow because I have a wedding that I'm going to. But maybe I'll pop by beforehand. I'll always tweet and Patreon out if I'm doing that. Otherwise, I'll be back on Sunday, and I'll see you guys there then. And then we're also going to be doing Best War Movies for the World Girls on Sunday, which I have a lot of war movies that I love. So it'll be interesting to talk about those. All right, you guys know the deal. Check your internet by blowing on it. It's the best way. Hopefully you already made your bed, but if you haven't, do it now. Put down your toilet seat and live. We don't want those flumes. Brett, Miles, Jonathan, arrest the cops who killed Breonna Taylor, all three of them for killing Breonna Taylor. Justice for all the people who've lost their lives due to excessive force. Don't trend with the Holocaust. It's just not a good fucking look, no matter how often it happens. Much love to you all. Hope you do well. Stay safe. Hope you do well. Hope you're doing well. Stay safe, stay sane, and I'll see you next time for Live with Roxy.